already know what it is. It's Barbershop Conversations. Hit the subscribe and the like button today.
Barbershop Conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So, I watched President Obama's speech last night, and I'll admit I watched 2/3 of it, I believe, and I fell asleep, on the last half of it. But I just want to be clear. You're the person who's, well, I should say let's talk in first person. I was a huge supporter of President Obama, and to some degree, I still am. And you're talking to a man who went to the inauguration, spent capital, financial, emotional, spiritual capital, on President Obama. Uh, I voted for him blind. The moment he said he was running for president, he had my vote. Although I was voting in California, so he would have won the nomination anyway. But I felt proud voting for him. I cried when he was nominated. I wept. Man, I was so elated. Uh, I was raised by my grandfather, and I was just thinking how proud my grandfather would have been, like most of our grandparents. I'm speaking to my black subscribers and people who listen to this video. How more proud can you be? A black man holding the highest office in the world, quote unquote, the world, leader of the free world, right? There's no such thing. As you get older, you'll understand that. And but I couldn't be more proud of President Obama. I loved his grace. I loved his eloquence. I loved how well he spoke. I love his calmness. But there was one incident that we all ignored, and we was like, just get in office, do what it takes to get in office, and that was the galvanizing spirit, right? And I'm just reflecting on the first day and the last day. You guys understand what I'm saying? Because whenever something comes to an end, we all have a tendency to reflect. And when he denounced Jeremiah Wright, right? Regardless of what Jeremiah said in that church, President Obama, then Senator Obama, then community organizer, President Obama was paying his tithes, and he went faithfully every Sunday. And we as blacks, we as black Democrats, we as a deprived race in America felt like all we got to do is get him in office and we'll be okay. And we ignored the fact that he denounced his spiritual father. Now, there are a lot of things said in the black church, and there are a lot of things that should be said in the black church that should be made public. And there should be more proud, more advantageous for the black race, I should say, as opposed to just kissing up to some white Jesus. And but we ignored that, and what that led to is, I believe, a passive President Obama. Now, let's be clear, I wanted more nigga out of President Obama. I honestly thought, because he moves so well. Very rare do you find a man that moves well. Kind of like, I'm the apples and oranges, but kind of like Ghost and Power, kind of like Ocean's, the guy, the lead actor in Ocean's 11, 007, where they move well in any type of format you put them in. They just move well. They got their je ne sais quoi, swag, as they call it today. And we was like, man, President Barack Hussein Obama is seamless. He won't hiccup. And when we got in office, we thought he was going to be aggressive towards the plight of the black race, and for me, the black man. And I thought he was kind of passive on that. Not kind. I thought he was real passive on that. He never spoke to America as a nigga. He never spoke to America as a black man. And I don't want you guys to take. Let me define nigga for the sake of this video. Nigga is that hard-working man that busts his ass He may have one strike. He may have two strikes. He may not have a strike. He may just be a hardworking man in the inner city of America. Got 2 kids, a wife, a girlfriend, and he takes his kids to the soccer, basketball game, whatever the case may be. But we're doing the right thing, but we can't seem to get the upper hand or get to the next level, but we still fight. We don't make excuses. I wanted President Obama to have that toughness in the office and say, he spoke about it, but it's too much dialogue without action. And I wanted more action out of President Obama. And what summarizes this whole, what galvanizes this whole spirit in me, and I say this passionately because I'm victim of senseless gun violence, friends, family, is the gun violence in Chicago, in his home city, in his home state, where he gave his first speech as president and where he will give his last speech as president. Well, he gave his first speech as president-elect. He wasn't sworn in yet. And he spoke. He had BJ Chicago Kids sing the national anthem, which I thought was genius. Maybe R. Kelly probably would have been a better selection, but, maybe he didn't want to touch R. Kelly. But I thought that he could have did more for the city of Chicago. And the biggest slap in the face I got, I'll be honest, and regardless, you guys don't know me outside. Some of you guys may know. If you been through all of my videos, you know how hard I fight. I'm more worthy of the Medal of Honor than Michael Jordan. Publicly. I'm just saying just public information, what people know about me. I don't want to list off my credits. I'm just telling you guys. I've never seen President Obama, nor have I seen Michael Jordan in front of a graffiti riddled building with the blood on one side, a crip on one side, and the pastor and the community leaders and the Black City Mayor. I've never seen that picture. And Michael Jordan has had a lifetime to do it. And he has yet to do it. And I'm hurt by that. And I'm a man who owns 15 pairs of Jordans. I haven't bought one since I woke up. Mentally woke up. Will I wear them? I'll wear them. I'll wear them, but I'll never buy another one again because I don't want to waste my money. But that's an inner battle that I have in my head. You know what I mean? Whether I should buy them, whether I should wear them, whether I should wear them. I go through that all the time. And but I'll never buy one again. I'll never buy a Jordan product again. But getting back to President Obama, I wanted more nigga out of him, man. I wanted more toughness out of him. And what saved President Obama is how eloquent he is, how well he speaks. That saved President Obama because if not for that, they would have washed right through him. That was his biggest asset, the humility in which he spoke, the ability to appear to have empathy. Now, there's a difference between empathy and sympathy. George Bush was a sympathetic speaker. President Obama was an eloquent, empathetic speaker, or orator, if some of you guys may like that word better. But I wanted more nigga out of him. I wanted more toughness out of him. I wanted him to go to Chicago and say, put these fucking guns down. Where are the gang members? We need to have a conversation. And then we need to create an action plan. And I'm going to come back in 6 months and I'm going to make sure that we stick to it. I'm going to clench hands with the mayor, Ron Emanuel, and we're going to get this shit done. That could have been the poster child, the poster city for how we attack gangs. He had 8 years to do it. And crime kept on growing and growing and growing and growing. If you combine the murder rates in New York and in Los Angeles, it doesn't equal Chicago. 2.2 people die a year. I apologize. 2.2 people die a day through the senseless gun violence. And yes, some of the gun violence is gang on gang, drug on drug type of action, but there are a lot of stories that we read about that that say it's not just guns and gangs and that type of violence. And so I wanted more out of President Obama. Do I regret supporting him? I don't regret supporting him at all because of, just from my, I was a school teacher in 2008, and President Obama gave me a lot of inspiration. I ran for public office in 2010. I lost. I came in third place. I mean, it was pretty close, Um, I springboarded his momentum into my campaign, and it worked to some degree. But when you're dealing with a like 85% white voter electorate, it's hard. It's really challenging to penetrate that as a young, like, visionary black man, who don't really have the experience on policy and public safety, and but I did a hell of a job, and I look back at my campaign, and my stump speech was the city of Whittier. If you guys feel free to Google it, you can do all that. And my stump speech was no oil, no drilling in the city of Whittier. And now we have no oil and no drilling in the city of Whittier. My message went to a bigger audience, and it got momentum. I had a whole team around me, hundreds of supporters fighting, and it was so much fun how people believed in me, and I plan on running again in time, but it'll be in the city of Los Angeles. But what he did for me as a vessel of inspiration, I can't take that away. And I don't want you guys to take that away from yourself. I don't want you guys to say, wake up this morning, oh, fuck President Obama. He didn't do nothing for the gun violence and all that in our inner cities. That inspiration that he did for you, sustain it, build upon it. I went from a school teacher to an Emmy-nominated film producer within this 8-year span. So there's a lot of small battles that I won along the way, and I admit I was inspired by President Obama. I stood in 20-degree weather, slept in 20-degree weather. I got to find those pictures. When I find those pictures, because I've changed computers so many times since then, so it may be in my older computer. So I got to go through my 2008, 2012 computer so you guys can see those pictures. But I'll definitely show them to you guys at some point. But I loved in 2008. I was in love with President Obama. 2016, I love President Obama because let's not confuse what he accomplished with what we wanted him to accomplish. Right? Now, at the end of the day, I know you guys have these local heroes who's accomplished so many feats, and then they come back and they fail you, when they get older. But that block of years, let's say they was accomplishing something at 20 to 30, and they amazed you, they inspired you, they wowed you, they propelled you to greater heights. Separate that from who they are now. Now, I'm not saying don't value it, but if they inspired you to be great at 20, like if I was a basketball player and Michael Jordan inspired me as a young lad, that's fine. I value that inspiration that he had. And I also devalued him as I gotten older as a man. So I'm thankful for what he did for me and my inspiration and but I know the difference between the two. So I love President Obama. I'm hurt. I'm devastated that he didn't do more for the city of Chicago. Well, he got Ron Emanuel elected. I genuinely don't believe that if Manuel is not connected to President Obama, he gets elected. So barbershop conversations, man. This is just something I just wanted to share with you all. I'm going to forever be thankful for President Obama. So I'm reluctant to call him a sellout. But I will just say this: he wasn't tough enough. As tough as he would have been on the lesbian and gay and immigrant issues, I wanted him to be 2 times tough on the plight of a black man and the black family in America. Because he's a great example of a black family. Great example. Great example. And the media protected him certainly. They don't talk about him smoke. I don't know if he quit yet, but his gums are black. So I'm not sure if he quit but I know he was a smoker. And it didn't bother me. Not one bit. But I remember him sitting on Oprah's couch and I was like, what a man. What a man he is. And he was undecided on running for president. What a man this gentleman was. And at the end of the day, he appears to be a great husband, appears to be a great father, but he wasn't a great president for me. Coming down the stretch, we gave him 4 years. Okay, get acquainted, make sure, get it popping, align your allies, align the people that hate you, understand what's going on. But these next 4 years, we need your motherfucking ass to ride with us. You was a great representation of us. That's what it is. See, that's where he was a great representation of the black man and what we can accomplish and could possibly become. Symbolism. So, I literally can talk about this topic, but I think you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. But I will forever love President Obama. I'm just telling you that now. But I'm really saddened and hurt that these niggas in the hood. See, the only thing that separated me from the niggas in the hood and where I'm at now is I stepped out for 4 years. And I wasn't a violent person. I stepped out for 4 years and went to college. And I truly believe with my brain and how I move and how I operate and how I do business now, I would have been a very good drug dealer. I'm not saying I would have been a drug dealer. I'm not saying that. I don't know that because I don't want to repeat. I don't even want to restart over again. I love where I'm at now. But how I operate, I see a lot of myself in Ghost when I watch Power in terms of how he moves and the ingenuity in his brain, how he moves in silence. And I know Amari and I used to be great friends years ago before he became really famous. He moved to Miami, got a family, and we used to go to poetry every Tuesday. And we used to talk, went to his birthday party, and we had a good time. I have his personal phone number. You know, I've called him from time to time. I called him to be in a celebrity basketball game and stuff like that. And we talk from time to time, but it's not as frequent as we should because we're not in the same element now. But if I call him, I'm sure we'll pick up right where we left off. You know, I always tell him he sounds like Kurt Franklin. but how his brain operates, I literally could see myself running a neighborhood business and having drugs coming out of it. And it's the same application how to run a drug business as it is to run a McDonald's. The same application. You know, and I've thought about that so many times. And that 4 years allowed me to step out of myself and step out of the world that I knew for 18 years. And allowed me to say, maybe I can do this another way. You know, I have no idea what would have happened. But so President Obama, I love you. I mean, I can't take that away, but I wanted you to ride for me a lot more than what you did. And I would write a letter, but I know it won't get there. This is the best way to get to a vlog. This is the best way to get my message across. I'm not going to call him a nigga. I'm not going to call him a coon. But I will say this. You're a civilian now. I need you to go back to Chicago and be a community organizer. I need you to be, because you are probably the youngest president to ever leave. I don't know, like in recent history, he's the youngest president to ever leave office. He's probably mid-50s. So he has a strong 20 years. A really strong 20 years, especially with the type of lifestyle he will live now. Very comfortable. So I'm saying this so President Obama, if you hope this gets to somebody in there, This is a man that's speaking for me that financially supported you. Check the records. Check who physically supported you, who was at the inauguration, who emotionally supported you, who cried when you were elected. I want more nigga out of you right now as I did your second term. So I love you. And hopefully your next 20 years will be greater than your last 8. And because keep in mind, understand this, President Obama, your daughters are not president of America. Your daughters will have to go through the gamut of dating the simple black guy to the educated black guy. And I know they'll be in an elite audience, a quote-unquote elite audience, because my niggas from the hood, I consider them elite. I'll tell you guys this. I would not have been nominated for an Emmy if not for a gang member. I'll share that story at another day. I mean, a gang member took me under his wing and was like, I got a project for you. I'm being dead ass honest. And you got to be able to move in every circle. So we've seen videos of his daughter. I don't know which one it is. I get them confused with their names. And Tara, Malia, I think so. Malia and I forget the other one's name. But you can tell she's going through her teenage young adult years. And obviously she want to turn up. So I'm going to stop this video here. I love you, President Obama. I wanted more nigga out of you. I wanted you to represent my niggas that had one strike. I wanted you to represent my single fathers a little bit more. I wanted you to represent that single black mother. I wanted you to represent that married black couple. I wanted you to represent guys like me who didn't have a job and who had Sally Mae coming down their neck and couldn't find a job. You know, when I graduated from college, I was making $10 an hour. You know, I couldn't find a job. I could not find a job. And I wanted you to do more representation of, you know, the fallen victims. You know, like I was hurt that you went to Dallas and spoke for the police, but you didn't go to Missouri and speak to Castro of Minnesota. Forgive me for mixing them up. You didn't go to speak for Eric Garner. You didn't see what I'm saying? So these are just silent messages that you did. I'm not saying that the cops don't have value, but you look like me. And I expect you to act like me and fight for me. So Barbershop Conversations, feel free to hit the subscribe button. And at the end of the day, I love them. You know, I have uncles that I love that I despise. We all have uncles that we love, and we're going to cry at their funeral. When President Obama died, I'm going to cry. I'm going to be hurt. But I know that he could have did more with his life and fighting for me. So I hope this message inspires my niggas in the hood that got 1 strikes, 2 strikes, single fathers, single mothers. Keep on fighting. You know, I'm a success story. I come from whatever story you can think of is in my family. And it may be in my household and where I grew up. I don't want no sympathetic reply. I'm just telling you guys that it can happen. And so keep on fighting. And so let President Obama's ascension be inspiration and vindication that your dream can actually come true. And what you do with it, learn from what President Obama did not do. So when you get to the apex of your purpose in life, you know what to. So Barbershop Conversation. I know I said in this video 8 minutes ago, but this is such an emotional plea and an emotional topic for me that I can't stop talking. But I got to go cover Triple G and Daniel Jacobs in about an hour in LA Live today. So Barbershop Conversations. Feel free to subscribe button. And lastly, I love you, President Obama. But I wanted you to ride with my niggas, though. I wanted you to ride with us. You didn't ride enough for us. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to listen to your comments. Read your comments on this video, and I talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Hey guys, it's your girl Angie. You're watching Barbershop Conversations. Make sure to click that button below to subscribe. like the video. Don't like it, leave a comment. You can also follow me at Angelica Curtis on Instagram. See you